Hi, Phil Aston here from Aston magazine with another album review, and this is a brand new album from Tedeschi Trucks band, and it's going to be a 4-album concept series called I Am the Moon, and this is the first part of it that's just been released, which is called Crescent. There are 4 parts in total, and it's interesting that that it is going to be a concept album, and I'm so excited about this. If I had to list my top 5 guitarists, one of them in that top 5 would be Derek Trucks. I think he's absolutely amazing. I've got every album he's ever done, from the Derek Trucks band to his Derek Trucks, everything that he's done. Some of them were quite hard to track down. Had to get them from Japan. And I obviously love his work in the Allman Brothers. But I just think he's just a perfect musician in a way. He just plays with total feel. There's no gimmicks. There's no kind of like costumes or stage shapes or anything. He just plays music from the heart. And before Tedeschi Trucks got together, I was also a huge fan of Susan Tedeschi, his wife. So I got all her albums. So when they came together to form this new band, I just thought, this will be interesting. And every single album they've done has been great. The first one I bought was Revelator. Look how many people are in the band. Now, think about how bands function. The amount of people must have thought, do we need more than 4 people? Think of the costs, the logistics, the extra support we'll need. No, that's how many people are in the band. And when the Derek Trucks band merged into Tedeschi Trucks, you think, what happened to the previous vocalist? He's still there. They just absorbed him. They're like a family. Well, they are a family, but they're like a community that releases albums. So there was that one, and then there was the Tedeschi Trucks band live. Everyone's talking, which is great. And just like the Allmans, this kind of jam band kind of feel where they would, the studio track might be 7 minutes, live it might just roll on for 20 minutes plus. Absolutely superb. Make Up Mind, great album as well. And then this one came in a little box. I should do a different video on these, but let me get by. Absolutely superb. And Signs, great. And then this 2 CD Blu-ray live one, which is from the Fox in Oakland. And it's just superb. Me and Sue watched this actually the other day. And whereas, a lot of bands will kind of, when they're playing live and they're going through extended solo workouts, you can see that the guitarist will do some kind of hand signal that tells everyone else that he's finished doing the solo and they're moving back to the next chorus. With Tedeschi Trucks, it has to be telepathy, because he just stands there with his eyes closed, barely rocking backwards and forwards, just lost in the music, and the band are just intuitively knowing what's going to happen next. And Susan, his wife, plays licks. And the other thing about Derek Trucks is he's a brilliant slide guitarist, period, is that it's not like a band where they have to have a solo in every track. He plays where it's needed, and if it isn't, he doesn't. But live he may then go off at a tangent, and it takes on a whole new kind of life. And it is like those days when you'd buy a studio album and you buy the live album, and the songs would be totally different in length and structure and arrangements. That's what Tedeschi Trucks is like, and I just love it. Whereas many times now you buy the live album, it's, apart from the crowd at the end of each track, it's basically the same. But with this, it's an adventure. And the last but one was when they revisited Layla, which is, again, they went through every single track from the Layla album. Obviously deep connections there with Dwayne playing on the original, and it's superb, absolutely superb. So the news was they're releasing a 4-disc set called I Am the Moon, and the first album is out, which is called Crescent, as I said. Now, I'll show you the package as I waffle on in the background, but they basically turned it a concept based on the name Layla from the previous album they did, but it's based on a mythic Persian tale of star-crossed lovers, and so it's quite a deep subject, and I think it's fantastic. There are only 5 tracks on this, and it's a short album. It's like 35 minutes, so some of you might think, ooh, but that's what albums used to be like. I mean, I think we went through a phase where albums, because a CD could contain 70 to 80 minutes of music, that it's just full of stuff, and and then you end up with double or triple vinyl albums. But I think what they're doing here is a 4-part concept album. So I imagine we're looking at 2 hours of music and video and everything else. There's just 5 tracks, and the first track is called Hear My. If I just remember myself, I think it's called Hear My Dear, that's right. And this has been written by Susan, Derek and Gabe Dixon, who is the Hammond player. I love a bit of Hammond organ, as you know, and it's lovely, absolutely fantastic. And this song, just as you press play, it kind of just rolls out of the speakers. It just starts with little gentle motifs of guitars, and it kind of just comes to life on a gentle wave coming across the hot sand. It's just beautiful. It's very laid back. As I say, the Hammond organ by Gabe is just superb, and typical of Derek Trucks. He does like slide flourishes, just little motifs around the words, and it just builds up, and then as the chorus kind of builds gently, he moves into a more kind of sustained slide solo, but behind the chorus, which just, as I say, just drives along. And you with all of these songs, they're all about 5 minutes long, apart from the last one. You just feel that these are live. They're just going to extend. They're going to increase the journey. It's absolutely superb. The next one is called Fall In, and this is written by Mike Mattison, was the vocalist of Derek Trucks' band itself. And this is kind of what have I put here? I said it's a bit like if it's an outtake from this album, Already Free by Derek Trucks. It's got that kind of good time, kind of funky feel, nice groove to it, bit of Dixie brass on there as well, and it's a really, really lovely song. And the next one is I Am the Moon, which is 5 minutes long, and this is written by Gabe, the Hammond player, Dixon himself, and it's a ballad, and the vocals are by Gabe and Susan, and the way that he starts it off and then Susan comes in, and I just think her vocals are just heartfelt and beautiful. And where I am today in Cornwall in the UK, it's a hot summer's day, and this music, as I played the album, was just perfect soundtrack, absolutely perfect soundtrack. It picks up this track with some sustained is the wrong word, held back power chords just behind the chorus, and there's a great guitar solo by Derek Trucks, right out there front, and I just feel that this song, I Am the Moon, is going to be a highlight of the new live show. The fourth track is Circles Around the Sun, and this is written by Derek Trucks, the whole and his wife, and also Tyler works on acoustic guitar, and it starts with some kind of Middle Eastern kind of licks on the guitar. Superb vocals again by Susan Tedeschi, absolutely brilliant, and there's a lot going on this. It's like quite interesting backing vocals and stuff, and this is possibly, before the next track, was my favourite as it rolled out the speakers. It reminds me of the UK band Traffic around their kind of on the road period, 1973. that kind of thing, kind of like fusion, but with kind of like ethnic kind of world music rolled in as well. That's what it reminded me of. It's got that kind of vibe. Now, as it rolls out to the fade, we get a spoken word, which is from the poem that the whole concept is based on, which is the dialogue, as it says here, and that kind of sets up what happens next. Track 5, called Pasaquan. 12 minutes and 15 seconds of excellence. There are no vocals. This is an instrumental, and this is pure fusion. And this track reminds me of something that might have happened on Songlines, you know, one of Derek Trucks' finest albums. And it's just pure kind of like fusion, but not, again, it fits in with the whole album. This isn't like dramatic exercise your musical muscles fusion. This is kind of just, again, it just drifts, and it's the guitar solo, which is long, but full of melody, not within the confines of what needs to be done. It builds an atmosphere, and Derek Trucks is on fire. Well, and it just, but again, it's all done really, really tastefully. You know, the production is just absolutely stunning. And after the guitar solo, we move into a wonderfully gentle and groovy Hammond organ solo. Absolutely beautiful. And then after that, you think, where we're going to go? We actually head towards a drum solo. Don't panic, everybody. This is a rhythmic solo with a kind of real groove to it that just grows out of the Hammond and the song, and it's just beautiful. And then we drop back from there into a real bass drum groove, and then we're back with the guitar from Derek Trucks, and we just move towards the last part of the album, and I just think it's 35 minutes of superbness, and I just love this band. I've never seen them live. I'm in the UK, they've not been here. But as I say, I've seen the DVDs, and I'm so pleased that I've got this. It's the kind of thing, you know, when I've talked about, do I buy CD or do I buy vinyl? I know that it's going to be a box set of the whole thing later on in the year, and there's a good chance I would go for that, because I just love this band, and it's just feel good music, but it's just music without being pretentious. It's just musicians enjoying their company, writing music from the heart that just comes out. They're not, you know, I'm sure they want to be hyper successful, but this isn't being done to chase the dollar or the pound. This is being created as a legacy of great, great music. So that's the I Am the Moon from the Tedeschi Trucks band, and it's the first part called Crescent. Highly recommended, really, really is. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to Now Spinning Magazine. Thank you for seeing me on the Facebook group and the website and everywhere else. Thank you for becoming patrons, and thank you for all your support. And I shall see you on my next video.